So when you initially heard that, you know, they were making you Godzilla, were you keen from the get-go? Did you have kind of misgivings about the idea?
It begins with Gareth Edwards, you know, the filmmaker, director, who, you know, I saw Monsters and was a huge fan of that, and was intrigued, you know, intrigued to see him kind of want to kind of then take on something sort of on a huge, bigger scale, you know.
The sort of filmmaking I grew up with, you know, like there's Ridley Scott and James Cameron and Spielberg, before digital effects, they had, you know, those films were so powerful, those monster movies like Jaws and Alien, where you couldn't see everything all the time, and just sense of anticipation as an audience member would just go up and up and up, and then finally when it got revealed it had like the maximum impact. And so we were trying to inject a bit of that into Godzilla, like give a bit of a tease, you know, that builds up to the big reveal. And then the other thing is just some heart. Like we tried to create an emotional experience, and it sounds silly, but you know, my goal was like if someone's not feeling like they might tear up at a certain moment in the movie, then we've sort of failed, really. I
do think Godzilla has a real kind of personality on screen. I mean, what were you? Yeah, like what did you have to work from in terms of when you were shooting?
Nothing.
Nothing, really.
Nothing. But you know, you film it on location, and you know, and I went through a mad roller coaster style on tanks and trains, and I was in helicopters, you know, and for real, you know, not green screen stuff, you know, and you felt really immersed in it, you know, cars flipped upside down and rubble and military guys running through. You felt like you was in a war zone, you know.
And in terms of the look of Godzilla himself, what were your kind of, I mean, going in, what did you want to achieve?
I feel like the strongest characters are silhouettes. You know, they work really well as a silhouette, and you can recognise them. If there was like a warning Godzilla crossing sign, you'd know that was Godzilla, not deer or a bear or a dinosaur. That's Godzilla. And so what we did is when we were designing him, we made his texture like jet black, and so it's just pure silhouette, and then we made the background white, and we just move him round and push and pull and move him around and push and pull and refine it. It was like this Rubik's Cube where you get one side right and then you have to fix the other side, and until we could do like a 360 and there was nothing, you know, we wanted to change, and it took a long time to get there, but I look at him now and I'm like, I wouldn't touch a thing.
The roar, I thought, was an incredible sound, and kind of it wasn't exactly what I expected, I don't think, in a good way.
Well, the sound designers who did it, they wouldn't tell me what it was the whole time we were making the movie, because they thought it would ruin my experience. So we had a deal at the end and at the very last day, he took me aside and he told me what it was, and I was promised I'd never tell the press, but what he did tell me is they use these new scientific microphones that record at really high fidelity, so it's like a slow motion camera. So if you know, little, and do some water, it goes psst. When you play that back, it's like. So yeah, they sound like these really epic loud noises, and they recorded hundreds of them, little strange obscure things that you'd never expect, and they become like screaming creatures.
What was your reaction when you saw the finished Godzilla on screen?
Yeah, I was impressed. I think, you know, that's why I think Gareth's talented, but I never really doubted, because Monsters, basically, he shot the whole thing, he wrote it, you know, he directed it, he put all the special effects in, you know, he's all sort of well-roundedly gifted in this kind of area. So I just put a trust in him, and yeah, I mean, it was really great. I'm super proud of it, man. It's cool.
What do you think of the body shaming that's been happening with people calling him fat?
This is just, I think, just a couple of people in Japan that, to be honest, I think it's they've got ulterior motives, that they, you know, Godzilla reads these forums, he gets angry. He has his own personal image complex, and so he's going to end up, you know, they just want him to come and smash up their cities again. I think they just miss him.